Hello, everybody. Today we are going to learn about basics of AI. So, if you want to learn that, then stick around. Now, let us start with the very basic question. What is artificial intelligence? What is AI? Now, AI is the entire field of study. Okay, it is set of technologies. They allow the computer to perform their tasks, which are done usually by humans. Okay, so the machine will do the human task. Okay, now let us go ahead. Now next question comes, what is machine learning? Now machine learning is what? It is a subfield of AI. Okay, it is a subfield of AI that allows machine to learn and improve from the data which is provided to it. So the machine will take that data, it will learn on its own without any human intervention. Okay, that is your machine learning. Now, look at this picture. Here, very basic example of machine learning is given. Like, look at this example and you will understand that it is a program. What is ML? It is simple program. Yeah. What do we do over here? We use the input data to train a model. Okay. Then that model can make predictions based on that data. Yeah, like it can do the predictions for the data which it has never seen before. Like for example, you train the machine algorithm on the basis of, suppose, Nike shoes. Okay, so the training data initially is the Nike shoe. The model will get trained on it, and later on it can predict. Same model can do the prediction for some other brand of shoes, like for Adidas it can do the product prediction. Okay, that is a simple example of machine learning. Now, let us go ahead. When we talk about machine learning, there are different techniques in machine learning. So, basic two techniques are there. First is supervised learning, second is unsupervised learning. Okay, when you talk about unsupervised learning, further it is used for clustering. Okay, and when you talk about supervised learning, it is used for classification and regression. Now, this thing you're going to learn in detail. Okay, so see over here, with the simple pictures I have tried to explain you what is supervised and what is unsupervised. Okay, so if you look at this picture of supervised learning, the data which is given to the model is labeled data. Okay, so model takes that labeled data, it trains itself, and then it does the prediction. So when you give the test data for the prediction, it will generate the output with labels. Whereas in unsupervised learning, if you see, the data which is there, it is not labeled, it is unlabeled data. Okay, and the model gets trained with that unlabeled data, and then it generates the output. Okay, that is the basic difference between supervised and unsupervised. Now, when we talk about machine learning, we go further. There is something called as deep learning. What is deep learning? Deep learning is a subset of machine learning. Okay, now if you look at this picture, yeah, what do you feel? It looks like some, if you see the picture, it looks like some neural networks. Yes. So, deep learning uses artificial neural networks. Okay. Artificial neural networks are what? They are inspired by your normal human brain. Okay. Layers of nodes and neurons. So, more the number of layers, more powerful the model is. So, you can see you have the input layer, and then you have three layers of your deep neural network layers, and then you have the output layer. So more the number of layers, more powerful will your model. Okay, now let us go ahead. Now there is something called, now since you have learned the knowledge of deep learning, let us understand what is semi supervised learning. Now what is semi supervised learning? Deep learning model, it is trained on small amount of labeled data. Just look at the picture, and large amount of unlabeled data. Then this model, deep learning model, what it does is uses that less percentage of labeled data to to learn the basic concepts, and then apply that concept the remaining on the remaining large percentage of unlabeled data. Okay. And then from this new data set which gets prepared, the model will make the prediction. You can see here. Okay. For future transaction. This is your semi supervised learning. All right. I hope you understood. Let us go ahead. Now just look at this picture. So how it works, first comes your AI, then ML is a subset of your AI, right? Then when you go ahead from there, ML, then comes your DL, that is a subset of ML. Now if you go further, what do you see? DL has other models, okay? So your DL can be further broken down to something called as descriptive model. Okay. Then you have something called as generative AI, and there is something also called as LLMS, that is your large language models. Okay, you can see over here at the intersection. Now at the intersection of your generative AI and LLMS, what do you see? You see, there is a technology that powers the application of both of them, and that is used in your Chat GPT, and that is also used in your Google Bard. Okay, fine. Now let us go ahead. Let us learn in detail about discriminative model. Okay, now discriminative models, you just look here, they learn from the relationship between the labels of your data points. Okay, so it has the ability to classify those data points. Like for examples, I have some picture, I have some data of students. For example, some students have passed, some have failed in the exam. So every student is given a label: pass fail, right? Now what will happen, this model will get trained and it will predict the label for the next image which I will give, whether the student is a pass student or whether student is a failed student. Okay, yeah, that is the job of your discriminative model. Now let us go ahead, let us understand what is generative AI. Now they learn about the patterns in the training data. That is what is your generative AI. Okay, so what they do, they get some input, like for example prompt. Okay, you give some prompt in Chat GPT, right? And then what it will do, it will generate something completely new for you. Like for example, we let us take the same example. It says past student and failed student. So you have the kids, I mean, some have failed in the exam, some have passed, so you have the images. Okay, now those images will not be labeled. Okay, but model will get trained on that, and model will look for some patterns over there, and then based on that it will generate something like new image. Like, not necessarily, it will not generate an image of a student who has failed or passed, it will altogether generate a student who is just in between, neither failed nor passed. You can understand that way. Okay. Now, important thing in generative AI is like the output in generative AI. If the output is a number or it is a classification or a probability, then it is not a generative AI. Okay. When the output is a generative AI, when it is natural language, text or speech, okay, or if it is an image, or if it is some audio and video, okay, it will never work for some number, probability, and all. Okay, now another important thing, generative AI generates new samples that are similar to the data it was trained on. Okay, it will generate only on what was already given to it, nothing, I mean, similar to what was given to it. Okay, now generative AI model types, there are different types. You can see here text to text, then you have text to image. Okay, then you have text to video, you have text to 3D, you have text to task. Okay, these are the few models. Now let us study about LLMS. So, as the name suggests, large language model. Now, what it is pre-trained with a very large set of data. Okay, then it is fine tuned for specific purposes. Like how to understand this, for example, you have a pet dog at your house. Okay, many of them have nowadays. Suppose that dog is already pre-trained, you have already trained a dog with the basic things like come, go, sit, walk, and all, right? Now suppose this dog, we want to get it fine tuned for other things, like I want a dog for police, for the police, or for hunting. So specialized trainings need to be given. Yes, so when you give specialized training to that dog, it will be fine tuned. That is an example of your LLMS. Okay, I hope it is clear. Okay, now let us summarize. What is artificial intelligence? It is a technique that enables computer to mimic human actions, right? Now, machine learning, what it is a subset of AI that includes the techniques that enable machines to improve the task. The machine will learn on its own without any human intervention. Then you comes your deep learning. Now, what is deep learning? Deep learning is a subset of machine learning based on neural network that permits the machine to train itself to perform a task. Okay, so today this is what we have learned. We have learned basics of AI. I hope it was helpful to everyone. Thank you.